11 days. Looking back, it was one of the most amazing times in my life. How often do you get to do what you love with the people you love? But before we go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Flavio Monopoli. That's me.
Being a musician is all that I really know and all that I really have ever wanted to do. So that's pretty much who I am, is Flavio Monopoli, the musician and producer.
Now I may look really tired there, but you've got to understand we didn't really get much sleep. I'll explain that in a second. You should probably meet these people as well. They were all there with me and they played a big part in what went on. God, where did I meet these people?
I'm Brent Calkin.
My name is Roger Williams.
I am Julianne Klein.
My name is Jungle.
In the past, I recorded 2 albums with Brent, a record and a bunch of other songs with Jungle, and I've worked with Roger live and often have him play bass on productions I'm working on. I've known the 3 of them for a very long time and they're among some of my closest friends. Julianne, on the other hand, was the only person I'd never worked with, but had met and had an interest in collaborating with.
I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what the heck I was getting myself into with this.
You're probably wondering what we're doing. Let's get to that.
The Elusive Project X is a project that originated after Brent co-produced a Velour CD 10 years ago. We were going to bring musicians in from wherever and get lots of people to play on it, just, get whoever we needed to do, whatever we were hearing in our heads.
I think the basis for his project was to surround himself with really good friends that are good musicians, really good musicians, adept in what they do, and make good music.
I guess this one is a challenge because it's writing 11 tunes in 11 days.
This band, as it is right now, the 5 of us working here on this new record, is kind of like a supergroup for me in the way that it's the best people that I've ever known and ever wanted to work with, put together in one place.
So did you get all that? 5 musicians, 11 days, with the audacious goal of writing and recording 11 songs in that time frame. It seems a little unbelievable, but let's just get a little more into it. Now I could just go ahead and tell you how everything happened. Day 1, woke up, made music, ate, made music, continued to make music, ate again, watched the sun go down, and then continued to make music late into the night and eventually passed out from exhaustion. But where would the fun be in that? Everyone joined up with Roger and I in Toronto. Brent came from Vancouver, Julianne from New York City, and Jungle from Montreal. Once we were all together, we drove up to Wasaga Beach and settled into a little cottage on Georgian Bay. The place was perfect. It had rooms for everyone, a space large enough to convert into a recording studio, and it even had a jacuzzi. The whole point of the journey out of the city was to be away from the noise and distractions and allow us to focus on creating music.
I think that helps, not having a, radio blaring or television around or, hustle and bustle of traffic. Distractions, we're bombarded by all kinds of distractions always.
This is the perfect thing because the only thing that's left here to do is create.
But I think also within that, again, the team is so important. I think when you're alone, it's a lot easier to let things fall away. And here, there's someone else just always doing something that's going to excite you.
Once we were all settled in, we set up our studio. Come on, let's take a tour.
It used to be a living room, and we moved all of the couches out and sort of made it into a studio. This was, but it's kind of been demolished. This was like the keyboard area, and we have a piano, an electric used to live right here, but we had to sell it to get Yitz out of jail. This is Guitar World, as it's known. In here we've got all manner of tools. Then we have an array of guitars. And then if we come around here and you look at this, this was once known as the vocal booth, but from now on I think I'm gonna call it the loony bin. So over here, over here, you're pointing at the ceiling, but whatever. Over here is all that really matters to the entire week. My drums, because nobody knows this, but the whole record is centered around drums, because the rest doesn't matter at all. Because if the drums don't kick it, nothing else matters.
We recorded the album in Pro Tools, and our makeshift locale was mainly stocked with equipment and microphones from my studio in Toronto, and a number of pieces that Brent packed and flew with from his studio in Vancouver.
Oh, in here? In here. I can't open this door because he's sleeping right now, but this is where we keep Yitz.
Oh, I almost forgot. Isaac!
My name is Isaac Adlin, and I am the assistant engineer / assistant editor for EPX.
Isaac Adlin, or Yitz as we call him, was a Ryerson student who needed to fill his co-op requirement to graduate. He did so in the 11 days, and I think he gained some pretty valuable experience in the process. We did have a lot of fun with him though.
Alright. Fit for a king. Yeah. Good night, guys.
Trying to create 11 songs in 11 days really isn't as easy as it sounds. In actuality, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Typically, we started off with an idea and worked together to flesh out the structure of the song. Then we'd branch out and work in specific areas. Brent and Julianne worked on lyrics, and Roger, Jungle, and I worked on the music. We recorded on 3 different computers, with the majority of the assembly being done in the system in the main studio. Then Yitz and I worked as fast as possible to edit pretty much every note on the record.
We're currently writing about a drug trip.
From imagination.
From our imagination.
From imagination.
Once the music was finished, Julianne would add her vocals, often late into the night. The only step in the process that didn't take place at the cottage was the final mix. We expected to work on a song a day, starting with the basic tune and ending the day with vocals, but it really didn't work out that way. We were constantly working back and forth between pieces. Luckily, the 3 workstations allowed us to work independently.
The accessibility to home studio programs is frickin' amazing. Again, the only problem I see with that is the ability to do too many things and spread yourself so thin that you don't do anything properly.
Having the equipment doesn't necessarily make great music. Having the equipment doesn't necessarily help you to know what you need to do to get a final product. But I think it's amazing that you can put, you know, the power of an entire recording studio into your basement, you know. I think it's brilliant. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know. I'm kind of scared, but
What's wrong?
I can't make files from track number 3. Like, it says that the files are corrupted and stuff. They won't bounce. So I have to pull them off of Jungle's backup and see if I can fix the problem.
I just took all the files that I was working on here. We're all edited. All the vocal files for day 5s were. I just put them all together, exported them, took them downstairs, and one of them was in the wrong spot.
The equipment is always the weakest link, I think.
Like, everybody wants to keep going, and you know, like, you just have it going, and then if something stops you from that, it's kind of frustrating.
I love being a musician and I love being a producer, but I really hate being a computer technician.
We have just random, complete, like, mind-bending stuff that just happens every once in a while. There's no figuring it out. It's just somewhere in the mind of the computer.
Computers are great, but as you just saw, not without their problems. All tech problems aside, we did work on the tracks by swapping files between laptops, and it worked great. The only track that was different, however, was track 11.
I just started writing some of the images that I had seen this morning, and then kind of associated them with the kind of stuff that's going on in here and how we've all come together. And
Edge of Forever, as it's now called, is an experimental piece. The beat, tempo, key, and the order in which we laid down our parts were all pulled randomly from a hat.
Whoever gets pulled first starts.
Groove?
Whatever you play, the first thing you play is what we build on.
The first thing!
The first thing.
What if I do a mistake?
It turned out to be a song in 6/8 at 110 beats per minute in the key of D minor, and the playing order was me on drums, then jungle on guitar, then Roger added his part on double bass, and Jules played piano. And then Brent recited his poem over top.
There's ice in the shallows, twisting in patterns and in layers, trace work and binding, waiting to be broken by a child's stick or boot. And us here, on the edge of forever, called together to create and breathe as one.
It was amazing that the ideas were so free-flowing the whole time. That was one of my big concerns. I was also worried that people wouldn't get along, but that pretty much wasn't the case.
I think what makes a great band is vibe, more than creativity. I think what makes a great band, like what makes something exciting to watch and what makes something fun to be part of, is the chemistry between people, you know?
It really, it's just about people respecting each other and, you know, each other's ideas.
Over the course of the 11 days, we worked really hard as a team, and it was a lot of fun.
You know, the approach to things are easy and open and humble.
I have a friend who toured with a really big band, and they actually opened for Kiss. And the thing is that he was miserable. He was just a touring guy, you know, working with this band. He said, I wanted to be in Kiss, and now I'm the closest thing I could possibly be to being in Kiss. And I hate it. It sucks because I don't like the people that I'm with, you know. And that stuck with me, and that's part of the whole thing for me, that I want to be with people that I want to be with. And I can't think of a better scenario than doing something that you love with people that you love for the rest of your life. That's not work. That's, you know what I mean? That's not work.
When creating at the speed of thought, there is really not much time for anything else. One of those things is sleep. And sleep we did not get very much of. Don't even take this lightly. There was very little sleep to be had.
I went to bed at 1.
We're up to 6 o'clock. I went to bed with the earlier ones. I went to bed at 3. Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't impact our playing. Not everyone's anyways.
The last 3 days have been, you know, 14, 15, 16-hour days. And it's unrelenting. We've been working really, really hard.
The US Army did an experiment on sleep deprivation to figure out exactly how little sleep a soldier needed to be able to function on an ongoing basis. And I think the amount was 5 hours.
Sleeping, what is that?
I haven't, you know, some mornings I'm getting up that I'm a little groggier than others.
It's hard. I haven't been sleeping enough, which for a singer is a concern because your voice really functions better on more sleep.
So I think I'm getting an hour or 2 more than the basic minimum.
I'll probably pass out, you know, for 3 weeks after we're done, but right now this is amazing.
The lack of sleep was the only thing, aside from computer issues, that was a source of stress. We all have our breaking points, and every once in a while, we hit it.
I'm beyond making value judgments on whether we should continue or not. We're just going for the goal.
Hey, let's be positive, please.
Hey, I'm hanging on, but you know what? Like,
You know what? I don't want to hear it. Let's start.
it'd be nice to have some sort of theme other than the theme of kind of things that make us feel good.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the more
That's
unified.
the whole point of the song, Brent.
Yes, I know, but it's got to be sort of unified, or you have just a scattershot, fucking mess of images. You know, I think, you know, today I was kind of snappy and kind of, you know, unable to really think very straight.
Because you get real tense from, you know, sitting around listening all the time, coming up with ideas. You just need to burn off some of the pent up anxiety.
And I'm just kind of trying to stay alive right now. It's been a long 11 days. And today is just, I guess I can't keep focused right now. So yeah.
There may have been a few low points, but generally speaking, we had a mountain of fun.
Yes, hello.
Hi, I'm selling this phone. It's to raise fund for my school project.
Oh, the American Heartland.
Come on, Roger.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
So, when's dinner?
I think dinner's right now.
Let's go.
Are you getting this, Jonathan?
He's sharpening me.
At this point, there's probably only one question on your mind. Did we do it? Well, I guess it depends on who you ask. It was close, literally down to the wire, but we did have a great time putting it together, and we did make 11 songs.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning on what is officially the 11th day, and Jungle decided that it should actually be 11 days and 11 hours. It's very rare to end up in a house with people you don't know for 12 days and for it to go as smoothly as it did.
So I hope that when you listen to this album, you have a really good sense of just how incredible it is to have made this kind of music in such a short time. These 11 days are an experience I'll never forget and will likely never be able to duplicate. In my memory, it will forever be a moment in my history when I brought together my best friends to create simply for the sake of creating.